Let me show you what we're going to build into this project. So this is the black window we have. The moment I will click anywhere in my window, I will generate this moving balls which are going in different directions, having random size, random speeds, and going different locations. So no matter where you click on this window, you will keep generating this ball. So the more you will click, the more circles you will have which will move at different speed at different locations, so you can easily able to control everything. So this is what we're going to build into this project, and we're going to build from scratch. We're not going to use any external dependency libraries for achieving this. We'll do it with pure vanilla JavaScript. And that's for the intro part. And those who are watching me for the very first time, my name is Daulat Hussain. I make videos on fitness and coding. So if you really like and enjoy my tutorials, hit the like button, subscribe. That motivates me a lot to come up with this video. So enough of bragging, let me take you to my Visual Code Studio and start building this project from scratch. I hope you enjoy it. As of now, you can see that I haven't written a single piece of code for this project. You and me going to build this project together. All I have done so far, I have created this ball.html file. Inside that, I'm going to write my code, and I'm not going to include any external CSS file or JavaScript because this is a very small project. So all the code for JavaScript, CSS, that's all we're going to write in the same HTML documents. And once again, I am telling you that this code is available in my website, so from there you can download it. But I would recommend you to code along with me. If you stuck somewhere, if you don't understand anything, you can take the reference from the code which I have provided on my website. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to generate my boilerplate. I'll hit the tab and enter, and let me change the title name to moving balls. Let me take my style tag. Inside this, I'm going to write my CSS, and let me create a script tag inside I'm going to write my JavaScript. For the HTML part, I'm going to use the canvas, which comes with a lot of properties which we can use it to draw our moving particles. So let me quickly create the canvas element. I'm going to give an ID of canvas canvas. So that's the only part of HTML. This is the only tag we need for HTML. So let's do some global setting in my CSS before we actually move to our project. So let me do some quick reset. So box sizing is going to be border box. Now I want to remove the margin from all the sides, and I want to do remove the padding as well. And let's target the body tag, and let's provide a background color to black. So I'll change the background color to black, and let me open this in my live server. As you can see, so that's it for the CSS part. Now let's move to the JavaScript and let's start the writing the logic. So the very first thing I want to do, I want to target my canvas, and how I do it, I'll do it in this way: document dot get element by ID, as I have provided the ID, and the ID name is canvas. Let me zoom a little bit so you can able to have a look. Now I will create another variable with the name of ctx not document. I'm going to refer my canvas and get context 2D because it's going to be a 2D particles, so it's a 2D. So let me show you how it's going to look. So here what we are doing here, we are trying to get the advantage of canvas elements. So let me console log very quickly and show you. Now we have access to all the properties of canvas. So I can say ctx, I can save it, and I can simply open inspect element, and as you can see right now, let me drag it up. Here we have all the properties. Now we can access this all property of canvas, and we can easily manipulate and design our particles. This is how it's look, all the camera properties. So if you want, I can explain on this. So here is the prototype. So if you want to draw a circle, you can use the arc functions. So here you have to pass the 5 argument. If you want to draw the rectangle, so here is, you go to the prototype, and here you will find a fill rect for designing a rectangle. So there is a lot of things I must tell you to explore. So let's bring it down, and let me remove this. So let's start writing the actual code. So let me clear my console. I'll come here, and so the very first thing I want to do right this moment, so the very first thing I want to do, I want to assign a width and height to my canvas, because in my CSS I haven't done anything to my canvas. So let's grab my canvas. So I'll say canva dot width. Width is going to be window dot inner width. So whatever the width of the window, I want to set the exact as a canva width. So this is what it means. Now I can say canvas dot height equal to window dot inner height. So if you want to check that whether the height or width you have assigned to a canva is set or not, so you can check it very easily. Simply console log dot, and you can check canvas, and here you will find the elements. So as you can see, when you hover your mouse on this, it will give this right. That means you have assigned the width and height to your canvas. So this is how you can check. So now I'm going to generate a circle on the canvas to show you that how it's going to look. So for that, I'm going to create a function with the name of draw, and inside this I'll use this ctx context, and I will say begin path. So this is the path you have to assign when you want to draw a circle on the canvas. And the second one is I want to assign is fill rect, because I want to give the color to my circle. If you don't provide this fill rect, it's going to be black in color because canvas setting is in black, but I want to change the color of that. So I'll say style STYLLA style, and the color is going to be, let's say, white. Now I can say ctx dot arc. I'm going to use the arc function of canvas for drawing the circle. So it's required 5 arguments. First x coordinate, second y coordinate, third I'm giving the same value, but we're going to change this value dynamically. So as of now I want to print this circle on the canvas, so for that I'm doing this hardcore value. So x is 100, y is 100. Now I want to assign the width. It's actually radius call, so the radius is going to be 50, and start with 0 degree, and we're going to use a property of math.pi. So when we want to draw a circle, this is the function we have to use on the canvas. So divided by, multiply by 2. So once multiply by 2, so when you put 1, it's going to draw a half circle, but when you multiply by 2, it's going to draw a full circle. So nothing will happen right this moment because I have assigned a fill style to white. And one thing I have to do, I will call ctx dot fill. Now I'll say ctx dot fill and save it. Now I'll call the ctx dot close path, and the moment I will save, nothing will happen because I have to call this function. So let's call the function draw. As you can see, I got my circle. So this is how you can draw, and we can change this dynamically. So here I have done something wrong, so PATH, so the path spelling is gold, that's why I'm getting this error. So this is how you can draw. So this is how we can draw the circle on the canvas. The next thing we want to focus is that how we can move this circle and generate circle on click event on mouse over event if you want. So for that I'm going to use class constructor, which is the feature of ECMA 6, which help you to make your work very easy, and you can able to generate multiple circle with the help of class constructor. So this is how you can do it. So this is the syntax. First you have to write CLASS class, and here you have to write the name. You can give whatever name you want. So here I'm calling let's say particles array, particles sorry, but make sure that you should start with a capital P. So this is what it denotes, then parentheses, and here I'm going to use the constructor, close it, and inside this I'm going to define all the values. So the very first thing I want to do, I'm going to create the circle on click event and on mouse over effect. So before I move to the mouse over effect, let's create some variable for the click event. So here I will create another variable by the name of mouse, and it's going to be an object. So in this I'm going to store my x coordinate and y coordinate of my click event. So I'll say x is going to be undefined initially because I don't want to assign any value. I want to be null. You can give null, you can give undefined, it's totally up to you. So, and here is going to be undefined. So okay, now let me create an add event listener on my canvas dot add event listener, and let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm looking for a click, and I will create this arrow function, and inside this, in this brackets, I'm going to pass e stand for event. So whatever events you do, like pop-up event, click event, mouse over effect, scrolling event, so these are the events. So I'm looking for that event, and inside that event I'm looking for a click event. So this is how I define. So what I will do, I'm going to assign the value. So whenever I will click on my canvas, I want to find the location of that particular place of in x and y coordinates. So this is how I can do it. So I'll say mouse dot x, I want to update my x mouse x position, which is currently undefined, with e dot x. Okay, and same thing I have to do for y. I'll change this y, and let's make it this y as well. I'll save it. I'll come here and let me show you. I'll simply console log this, and inside this I'm going to call my mouse. You can able to find the event. So the moment I will click, you can able to find the x and y coordinate of the canvas. I click here you get the 360 and 116. So wherever you click, the number will change. So the closer you will click here on the left hand side, you will get less numbers. On the closer you click on the right hand side, you will get the high numbers. If you expand this, you can able to find the x coordinate and y x coordinates, and this is what we need for drawing the particles and moving them all around the canvas. So this is how the click event works. So we don't want to console this values on the console. So we are done with this. Now here we're going to define some values. So the very first thing I want to define is, so this dot x. So I'm going to update my x position. So I'll use the same x coordinate, mouse dot x, and okay, mouse dot x, let copy, and this is going to be for y. I'll change it to y. Now I have to assign a height to my circles, because here you can see that I have done hard coded. So if you change this value to 1, it will decrease in size. So I don't want to do that. I want to generate different size dynamically. So here I will define that as well. This dot size is size. You can give whatever name you want, and the size is going to be random. It would be not only in 10, it's going to be 1, it's going to be 10, any size. So I'll use the math dot random property, and this will generate me a number between 0 to 1, and I'm going to use that. So the circle I want to generate between 0 to, let's say right now it's 10 is very small, so let's say 20. So this math dot random will generate a number between 0 to 19, because it's 20, it starts with 0. So to get that 20, all I have to do, I have to simply plus 1. So now I will get a circle between 1 to 20. Now I want to provide the speed of x coordinate and y coordinate. So again, this dot speed speed x. So this is also going to be a random number, because I want that my circles move in different location in different speed. So again, it's going to be math dot random. I'll come here, and this time I want my circle, so I want my circle to move on the right hand side as well as on the left hand side. So for that I have to pick a number which can give me both plus value and negative value in whenever this math.random function get work. So for that I will start with 3, and I will say minus 1.5, and you might be thinking that how I'm sure with this number, because I try a lot, and this is the perfect value I have found, which gives a different both in plus size and both in minus size. I'm simply going to replicate for the y-axis as well. So I will simply change this y, and you can give whatever name you want to the sections. So these are the property, these are the constructor I'm going to create as of now. If we think that we need to create anything else, so we can do it. So now I have to create the update function. So here I will come, let me open a bit and let me zoom a bit. So I'll create an update function, and inside this I'm going to define some value. So I want my circle to move in different directions, so I have to update the speed with the position of the x and y coordinate. So for that I will do, say I will take this dot x. So whatever the position of my circle when it's created, I want to get that locations, and I'm going to add the speed. So whatever speed I will get, I'm going to add on my x-axis, so it will move in the same direction. So this is the logic. Same for the y. I'll take my y-axis and I'm going to add like this dot speed y. So whatever the value get generated and whatever the initial value of my click event I will get here, it will add it and it will move in the same directions. So this is for the update function. Now let me create a draw functions, and as you can see that I have already created this draw function here, so why should we create again? So simply copy this from here and simply paste here. I don't need these two things, so I will simply delete this. I will save. So here I have done a hard code value which I will change. So from here I will, in the x position, I will say this dot x, and you might be thinking that, and this x is coming from here, which we get on the click event. Same for the y-axis, I have to do y, and for the size, this dot size, and this is, and the rest is going to be the same. So let me zoom out a bit. So before I start creating this click event, I want to generate some particles and move them. Then we will add the functionality of clicking event. So for that, let's come here, and here I will create a animation. I'll use the request animation frame. So for that I will create another function by the name animate, animate, animate. And what I want to do in this, inside this function, I'm going to call let's say request animation frame. Same function I'm going to call in this functions, and I will come outside, and here I will call the same animate function. And what this function will do, it will keep running this function. So whatever code I'm going to put inside this, it will keep running in the loop. It will come here, then it will run it this way, so it will create the loop. So our function is also ready. Now let me generate the at least 5 particles on the canvas and move them randomly. So what I can do for that, so for that I can create another function. Inside this I will call it init, inite, init, okay. And for generating the particles, I'll come up here, and here I will create a empty array. So I'll say const, and I'll say particles array, and initially is going to be blank. We don't going to add anything inside this. We're going to push from programmatically. So I'll come here, where is my mouse? There it is. I'll come here, and inside this I'm going to create a for loop which help me to create the circles. So I'll say for I'll say let I, if the I is 0 and I, okay, 0 and I is smaller than 5. So initially I'm trying to create 5 circles randomly. So 5, you can change that on the click event as well. So as of now, let's create 5. Now whatever circles we are creating, I want to store that circle somewhere else, and for that I have created this particles array. So inside this I'm going to store all the circles. So I'll call particles array, and I'll use the JavaScript inbuilt feature called push. So this will allow me to push whatever the particles get created with this class constructor, this one. So here we have to define the class constructor. So for that we need the new keyword, and this keyword I'm not making it up, it's an inbuilt JavaScript feature. So whenever you want to push any class constructor, whatever circles you are generating, and when you want to push into an array, this is the feature and syntax you have to use. So here I will give the name simply particles. So this is the name I have given, but make sure you give your class constructor name in the capital letters, and here you have to call the function. So how this function will work, so when I will call this function, this loop will run, and when this loop will run for the very first time, it will create one circle, and this push will push the circles into my array. So I will have an array here. I will show you how it's going to look. So okay, so right now I can show you here. So if I console log and particles array, so as of now I have nothing in my array. So here you can see it's totally 0, but we're going to add the numbers and the circles inside this array. So right now we don't have anything, so let me get rid of this, and let's come down here and let me call this function init. Nothing will happen because we are not doing anything. Now I need one more function which can draw my circles and update my circles. So I'll say functions, let's call it handle. I gave this name because this is the function which going to handle all the updating and drawing functions. So again, I'm going to write a for loop, and I'll say let I is equal to 0, and if I is smaller than particles array dot length. Here why I'm looking for particles array, so when this loop will run, when the first loop will run, it will generate certain particles, and that particles get stored into my array, and again we are calling that and checking the length of that. So I'll say this and plus I plus plus, and simply call this function. So what I want now, I want to first draw the circle on the canvas. So I'll say particles array I stand for loop, so we are looping through this, so that's why this I'm giving the syntax, and I'll call the draw function, and this function I'm calling from here. As you can see, this is the draw function we have created for our circles. I'll do the same for my update, so I'll call this I, and I'll call update functions. Right now nothing will happen again, and now I'm going to call this function into my animation loop because this will run the code over and over again. If I come here, if I paste and call the function, nothing will happen, no circle is generated, because here in this dot x and this dot y we have assigned that whenever we click on the canvas, only on that time this particles gets generated. So right now you can see that we have an Adam is listener, so we can create that. So the moment I come here and click, nothing is happening. You can see nothing is happening. So we have to check that what's the problems here is. I'll save it and come here. So the problem is having, as you can see, I'm already given a click event on my mouse on my canvas, but nothing's happening because here we have done a mistakes. It's not a mistake. I told you that I want to generate a random 5 particles, so I can do one thing. Instead of hard coding this, I'll come here where it is. I will simply comment this out, and here I will come and I will say this dot x is going to be canvas dot width by 2. I want to generate the circle from the center, and same I will do from the y as well. So I'll say this canvas dot height, and I want to generate it from the center. So I'll save it. As you can see, we are getting our work. It's working fine. Let me refresh. It's working fine. But you notice that we're not getting circles, we're getting these lines, because here we have to do something. If I have to come here, and here I have to use the another canvas property which is called clear rect. So it will clear the previous print of the circle, because this time all the circles are get created, it's all leaving the thread and they are on their place, but we want to clear the previous circles from the canvas. So this is how I can do it. I'll say it's ctx dot clear rect. This is how we can clear the previous circles which we are creating through this loop. So inside this function you have to provide 4 properties: x coordinate, y coordinate, and width and height of the canvas to clear the circles which are getting created. So I'll say x is 0, y is going to be 0, and canvas dot width, take the full width of the canvas and take the full width of the canvas height. And the moment I will same, you will find that we having circle. It's working fine. As you can see, it's working fine. So this is happening because here we have set the value to 5. If you want to increase the number to, let's say, 50, we'll have a 50 circles. This is So this is how you can move a circles. Now we want that these circles get only generated when we click on the canvas. So for that it's very easy. What I will do, I will simply cut this code from here, and I'm going to delete this function from here, and this I'm going to call inside my mouse click event. So in this, what I'm telling, the moment I will save, nothing will happen, but the moment I will come and click on my canvas, I will have 50 moving circles. So as you can see, nothing is happening. Here is the mistake in my syntax, so I'll simply come up here. Let's see what's happened. Come back. Okay, come here and paste. So okay, this is the extra bracket, I got it, so that's why it's not. So if I come onto my canvas and click, you will see I'm getting 50 circles right from the centers, because here I have defined canvas width and canvas height in the center. That's why it's getting only in the centers. But what if I simply uncomment this and open this one on my mouse click event? So the moment I will click, wherever I click, I will get 50 circles. You know, it's look beautiful. I'll get 50. I think 50 is too much. Let me decrease to 10. Save it. So wherever I will click, I will have 10 circles. Those circles are in different size, going in different directions. So this is working absolutely fine. So our circles are moving, going in different direction, in different speed. Now we have to find the collision detections. So it should be come back when it's collide to the edges of this canvas. So for that we have to write the code. So we have to do that in my update function. So I'll come here, and here we're going to write the if statement. We have to set the condition that when those circles, when they touch the canvas end, they should back. So for that we have to write the code. So I'll take the if statement. So I'll say if this dot x, so whatever the length, wherever I click on my canvas and whatever value I get of the x, I want to take that value and I want to add that value to my speed, because it will move in the same direction. So I'll call this dot speed x, and I have to check if that is greater than which canvas dot width, and I want to subtract that with the canvas size dot size. So what this code means, suppose I click here and a circles get generated. So this is my x position and it will go here in this direction. So whatever the value, if this value is smaller than the canvas width, and when it's minus to the canvas size, means this location, then this function will run, the circle will go up. But the moment the circle will touch here, it will return back. So I'll take another statement. I'll say and again this dot x plus this dot speed is less than this dot size. So this one is from the right hand side and this one from the left hand side. So if I save, get minus this dot speed x. So let me show you that whether this function is working or not. Let's come here, let me decrease it and save it, and if I click, I will get the particles, but the moment it will touch on the right side of the corner, on the left hand side of the corner, they are bouncing back. As you can see, they are bouncing back, means our code is working fine. Let's open it and refresh it. Here you can see that I'm getting this weird behavior score bar. So let me quickly get rid of this. So let's come into my CSS tab, and here I will say overflow is going to be hidden from all the sides, and I want to write one more thing. So this is the thing, when I reset this window, as you can see, it's get disappear. So here it's getting this weird behavior in my, when I'm resetting my window. So I'll come here and I will simply copy this, and here I want to write another function for window reset. So I'll say whenever we reset the windows, I want to run a function. So I'll run a resiz size. So this is a inbuilt add event listener property. So whenever you want to resize, so this is how you can do it. And in this I will call an arrow function, and inside this I'm going to simply paste. So whenever we reset the window, our circle will be in the same side. It will not stretch or not squeeze. It will be in the same size. So I think something's wrong. Okay, I have this extra comma, so I'll simply get rid of this. Now I'll click. Everything's working fine. We are getting, our circle is getting bounced back on from left and right. Now we have to write the condition from height, like up and down. So again we have to come here, and where is my update function? So I'll simply scroll all the way down, and I think this is this one. So I'll simply duplicate this, and this time I'll simply change this X to Y. I will tap D, okay, and Y. So this, if you don't know how to do this, simply select the word which you want to change and hit Ctrl and D. It will select automatically all the text. So here I have to make it capital, so let me give it capitals. And where is else? This one is also going to be a capital one. Capital. This one is also going to be a capital one. So I think everything is look good. Everything is changed, and this one is going to be height, not width. So now we'll have a collision detection from all the sides. So the moment I will click, as you can see, they will bounce back. Okay, something's wrong with the code, so let's see what it is. So if this dot y plus this dot speed is higher than this canvas length, okay, that's good. This dot y plus this dot x is less than canvas height, then this dot, okay, this one is the capital one, not the small one. Save it, and now I guess everything would be working fine. As you can see, our collision detection is working fine. I need to increase the speed of this, so this is how I can do it. So it's generating. I can simply say, let's say 30. You can see it's very fast, working beautifully. So this is how you can generate the particles and have an animated moving particles on the canvas. This looks beautiful. And you can do one more thing. If you want to change the color to white to something else, you can do that as well, which is very easy. You can use the RGB color or hexagonal color and update those color value in the adamant listener. So I know this tutorial is already getting a lot, but I hope you have learned something new, how you can generate. And we achieve this thing without any external libraries. In most of the website, they use external libraries to have this feature, but we have written our own code for developing this, and it's really amazing. If you add something like this on your website, that's something very cool, and you can do a lot of things with that. So this is the code which we have written so far. This is just a template you can use as a template, and if you want to draw something else, like there is a tons of things which you can do from here. If you want to add the lines between the two circles, you can do that as well. If you want to draw different shapes, you can do. So this is the basic structure, and from here you can take it into the next level, it's all about your creativity. So hope you have learned something new. If you have anything to know, if you have any question, leave that in the comment section. I would love to help you that, and that's motivate me a lot. And again, I'm telling you, this code is available on my website. Simply go to the JavaScript section, type daulathusain.com in the Google, go to my website, find the JavaScript section. There you will find all the project. You can simply download, check the look, check the codes, and ready to go with that. Hope you have found this tutorial valuable. If you have any questions, any doubt for me, leave that in the comment section. I would love to help you in that. Have a wonderful day.